Well, Jazri was still here at Petroport Panorama, and what I can tell is that traffic volumes are starting to peak now. The southbound lane is actually, getting congested. But I am joined now here by the MEC of Transport in Gauteng, Jacob Mamabolo, who is part of the operations this morning. Tati Mamabolo, what is your impression of this year's traffic flow on the Gauteng roads?
Well, let me say that it is very clear that the message that we have sent out to people to stay home, to protect themselves against COVID-19, and our expectation that the numbers will be low. It is very clear from the numbers right here that many people have had inter-provincial travel, and we can see just the traffic, a number of vehicles that are coming into the province on this road per hour is around 2,000 to about 2,500. That tells you that many people did move out of the province and they are now coming back. Comparatively speaking, and in terms of our expectations, I would definitely say this is an increase in the number of people moving into in-between provinces.
MEC, despite the heightened safety operations that are being carried out throughout the Gauteng province, already there are several crashes that have been recorded. Where is the problem?
One of the issues really that I wish motorists could appreciate is the fact that speed kills. We are seeing people that are still driving at a high speed, disregarding the laws on the roads. That is a big problem. Number two is deeply concerning that we have pedestrians that are crossing the roads at points at which they are not supposed to cross. And already about seven pedestrians have been knocked by vehicles over the weekend, with the motorists running away. About 20 people over the long weekend have lost their lives. So the issue of pedestrians, and also our motorists should understand that the roads that we have, the nature of the infrastructure is not yet designed to cover the movement of pedestrians, cyclists, runners, and people that are working on the roads for health reasons. So to that extent, we need to appeal to our motorists to understand that roads are shared spaces. We need to, accommodate each other. We need to have patience. But when you are driving at a high speed, you even reduce the chances of you being alive, because once a crash happens, definitely is likely to lead to fatalities.
Talking about speeding, drunken driving, would you say that the message perhaps hasn't, filtered through properly to the public out there, or is this just some wrong behavioral tendencies?
So, drink and drive, driving at a high speed, aggressive driving, disregarding pedestrians, vehicles that are not roadworthy, using cell phones when you are driving, and other factors. All of them come to one and only one point: the attitude, the behavior, the outlook of the driver. Because at the end, road users, motorists must understand, you are not driving for the police. You are driving to save your own life. So driving, disregarding the laws of the road because you see police, you are just putting your life and those around you in trouble. So motorists must start to take responsibility for road use culture. The culture is too bad, and it is because of behavior. All other factors come to one point, and that point is behavior and attitude of the road user, particularly the motorist.
MEC, lastly, we are still under alert level 1 regulations. Are people complying? have they been complying throughout this, Easter period?
Compliance has been mainly on the wearing of masks, that we have checked. There we must give them credit because they are wearing masks. We check in the vehicles, in the buses, in the taxis. We check sanitizers if they are sanitizing commuters. That is really happening. We see taxis, buses, they are carrying sanitizers. That is commendable. People are wearing masks. However, the fact that they are traveling in large numbers during this period, when the President of the Republic has clearly said, less movement, you are safe at home. That in itself is worrying. So on the one hand, they are definitely complying with protocols of COVID-19, but by the huge interprovincial movement that we are seeing, I think there we must give the road users a negative score because they should have stayed at home. Like in December, the numbers were not too high. When in the last Easters, the numbers were not too high. But this time people moved and you can see the number of vehicles. So to that extent, they've done well on certain aspects, but we must still appeal because we have not yet found a medical, pharmaceutical solution to COVID-19. The solution remains stay at home, avoid movement, wear masks, sanitize, and so on and so on. But less movement is much more better because now, with these people that are coming into Gauteng in big numbers, there is a risk that in the next few days, we might hear that the COVID numbers have increased. Definitely, this is likely to have an impact on COVID-19 because these people, where they are coming from, we don't know what they're coming with. So to that extent, I think on the huge, massive movement, I think the road users have scored very low. But on sanitizers, on masks, and on social distancing, even in the cars, I think, and we have seen buses, taxis that have complied. So to that extent, on some of the aspects, they have done better. So it is not dark and gloom, but I think people must lessen movement who are still under COVID-19. They are putting their lives at risk by exposing themselves to COVID-19. Secondly, to road fatalities, because we know our road conditions are very hazardous and they can put people's lives at a very huge risk.
Thank you, sir. And there was Gauteng Transport MEC Jacob Mamabolo giving us an overview of the traffic flow on the Gauteng roads since the start of the Easter period, but also lamenting the fact that some motorists are still not adhering to the rules of the road. There are those who are still driving under the influence of alcohol. There are those who are still speeding. That's back to you, Desiree.
Thank you so much to Molemo-Waone Mothoa. They're also standing by in the Eastern Cape is Abongile Jantjies. What's happening in your neck of the woods, Abongile?
Yes, indeed, Desiree. We are at the Kei Bridge on the N2 here in the Eastern Cape near Butterworth. It's the same place we were at last week. It's a strategic place that law enforcement agencies like to be at because this is where you see vehicles coming from far so that you can be able to track whether they were speeding enough. If my camera person, Akobile, can show you the vehicles that are being stopped here, it's really quite a lot of them. We're coming at a time, Desiree, where at least 15 people have died through road carnages here in the Eastern Cape. With me, I do have the MEC for Transport, Umama Weziwetikana Kotiwe. MEC, a very good day to you, and thank you for joining us. Kindly paint a picture for us. How are we doing in the roads in the Eastern Cape so far since Thursday?
Good day to all the viewers. Let me start by saying our challenges is with the driver behaviors. We have arrested a number of them who were driving once they were drunk. A total of 137 have been arrested between Thursday and yesterday evening. So it means, therefore, we've identified some of the challenges that drunken driving is a challenge within our province. We had our build-ups in the two previous weekends. A total up to now is 262 people who have been arrested because of drunken driving. That's our challenge. We have observed observed some fatalities. We do have some number of people who were involved in accidents. A number of those is 7 yesterday, which take us to 21 during this Easter weekend. It's a concern to us because it means we have to do awareness to our drivers on their behaviors. We didn't experience much of the compliance in vehicles, but it's within the individuals.
How are you talking to our drivers to ensure that these numbers don't go up, seeing that alcohol, drunken driving, as you mentioned, that it's a major problem? And during your conversations with these drivers, what is their attitude when you speak to them?
They appreciate our engagement with them, but the challenge is when they are traveling during afternoon, from the 16 hours towards 24 hours when the taverns are closed. That's the challenge. They are being supportive. They always welcome our advices. However, when they reach their homes, they reach their friends, they started partying and they want to be on the roads.
We're still within the confinements of COVID-19 and it's still out there. Is there adherence to road users during this time, during this Easter weekend?
Yes, with them they are complying with the COVID protocols. We are observing that they are very much cooperative on COVID. Hence we could hear that the numbers for COVID are not increasing in the province. That's the other message we are preaching to them, that they must observe the COVID protocols. However, the problem, of course, is the drunken driving, which is still a problem.
MEC, on another point, the Deputy Public Protector cleared you of wrongdoing when she released her report on the Mallorca scandal, saying that there were allegations that you had some influence on a quarantine site in Kala, where you're from. How do you feel now that you've been cleared from all wrongdoing there?
I welcome the report of the Public Protector. I'm happy. I've been saying I'll cooperate with any investigations. My cooperation came with good results because I gave them all the information I had. I welcome, as much as I could say I was very vindicated. But I say I welcome the report. I'll cooperate with them.
Surely this must be a smear campaign to tarnish your name politically. Would you say that?
I cannot say that. I can say any public representative is exposed to any allegations. It means, therefore, we must be able to present our facts and to be able to respond to whatever is being alleged against us. So I would say all public representatives must wait for that. It's within us. We live with that one.
Okay. I thank you so much, MEC, for your time.
Thank you.
Well, Desiree, that was the MEC for Transport in the Eastern Cape, Weziwe Tikana Kotiwe, telling us about how driver behavior is an influence in this area. She has now confirmed that at least 21 people have died, and you'd understand that there are still some who are still unaccounted for, who are still in hospitals who have been transported to hospitals. Maybe they could also live their lives, but one life is too many, and alcohol abuse remains a major challenge in this province, Desiree.
In absolute agreement, any life lost is one too many. Abongile Jantjies there for you.